Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you either watching this or streaming it live. It's good to be here again. My name is Mayowa Olusoje from Power to Know, Coach Mo, as people do call me, or some call me LM as well. It's kind of funny, isn't it? A man with two magnificent names. So some call me LM, some call me Coach Mo. But tonight I'll be speaking from Coach Mo. Maybe a little bit of LM in the middle of it. So it's just 8 o'clock, and I think we're just gonna wait a few minutes for us to join. If not, we're just going to dive right into it. Yes, we are talking about today. It's just having a conversation, and the conversation is going to be around financial freedom. And like we do in Power to Know, we don't. It's not about the technical grammars and everything. Hello, Jumoke. It's good to see you. And happy birthday in advance. I know you're going to be 30 in a few hours. I don't mean to embarrass you, but I wish you happy birthday. You're someone very, very dear to me. It's good to see you here, sister. God bless you. Yeah, so I've got one of my sisters online already. So let's continue. Yep. What was I saying? I was like we normally do here is we have a conversation around it. And this is all the big words we use in finance we throw about here and there, we here and there. It's let's break them down and have a conversation about it. What do they really mean? In Power to Know, one of our mission statements is redefining financial literacy in the age of digital assets. But before you can redefine something, you have to review what the original definition is. And today, we are looking to see what is financial freedom. Good evening, V Brain. It's good to see you. Thank you. What is financial freedom? What does that mean? What does that mean to you? And in the course of the day, I was thinking about it in terms of there's I do read quite a lot on them. I could remember Robert Kiyosaki says financial freedom is a number. He says it's the number of days, months, or years that you can go without having to work. So let's say you can go for 3, 4, 5 months without to work. It says you're 5 months financially free, which does make sense. That means you can actually do without working for 5 months because you have something in the reserve to carry you for that long. Hi, Lady T. I'm going to embarrass you and call you Yadura. It's good to see you. Oh, where is Li? Anyway, yeah. So, like I was saying, that is what Robert Kiyosaki, that's how he's defined financial freedom. It's about the number of it's a number rather than a definition. It's like if you can go a year without having to work and your bills being paid and your lifestyle being maintained, then you're a year financially free, which I do like that concept. It totally makes sense. But for me, when you think of the word freedom, and when a freedom is got restriction, then that is actually not freedom anymore. That means it's just it's like you're out of jail for a short period of time, and eventually when you run out of your parole, whatever, then you go back to jail. That is what that definition is to me. So from my perspective, what do I think it means? And in the course of the day, I was going through a few materials. I was trying to actually really reaffirm what does that mean, and I saw a very good definition, which I not totally agree with, but I think I do agree with what it's trying to say. And what is that? It says financial freedom is the ability to live the life you want without being constrained by financial worries. That is very, very powerful. Enoch went on and said it means having enough money to cover your basic needs as well as your wants and desires without having to work. And thinking about that definition, I went back to it again. Okay, financial freedom is the ability for you to live without having to worry about having any financial worries. I do like that. But to me, I think if you ask me and say, Coach Mo, how would you define financial freedom? I will define financial freedom as your ability to control and decide how you disburse your asset, when you disburse your asset with total freedom. That is what it means to me. And when we're talking about the assets, we're talking about your resources, we're talking about your time, we're talking about your money, we're talking about other things you have. It's your ability to have the ultimate control over it, how you use it, where you use it, and when you use it. That's it. Ability to control and disburse your asset at your own will. To me, that is what personal freedom is all about, financial freedom. But there are some key words in that definition I would like you to consider. The ability to control and decide how and when to disburse your asset. The question there is, how can you disburse or control something you do not have in the first place? That requires, good evening, Oluwato, it's good to see you here. So that means we need to take a step back and say, okay, before I can disburse, before I can control something, I need to have that thing in the first place. And for me, what is that thing in the first place? Life is about a lot of hustling and bustling. I went out earlier today. I spent 7 hours in traffic. And I was just thinking about it that man was never designed to live like this. Man was never designed to live like this. The original design of man was not about work, 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 and die. No. There is more to life than that. So the question here is, when we talk about financial freedom, what does that mean to you as a person? What does that mean to you as an individual? And when you arrive, how will you know you've reached that destination? At what point would you be able to truly say, I am financially free? It's a big question. We've got a few people online here. I'm going to ask this question. Can anybody tell me right now, as you are, if somebody gives you a blank check and tells you, write the exact amount that you need to be financially free, is anybody able to do that? And when I mean write the exact amount, I mean the exact amount that is required. I think most of the time, most of us, we're going to go for a very huge high number. We're going to go for like, okay, let me take a guess. You think, well, based on what I would like to do, I think $100 million would be enough. Based on what parameters? Can anyone tell me in the chat room? Can you tell me exactly? Do you have an idea of what that number is? What is that magical number for you? What is that number that whenever your network reaches that number, you know you're financially free? Do you have an idea of any inclination into that? What that number is? Financially free for a year, 15,000, school fees balance, including house rent for the next year. Now, I like that. No, it doesn't seem to cover feeding though. Can you see now? That means you've not really actually sat down and thought about it in terms of how will I know when I arrive at that destination? We don't usually have the end in mind. We mostly don't usually have a plan. So most of the time, we're usually responding and responding to life. We don't have a specific destination in terms of our finances. We don't have a state of contentment when we achieve that. We feel, yep, that is my state of contentment. Because do you know something? Truly, most of the time, you will never know when enough is enough if you do not have a clearly mapped plan of what that means to you. Most of the time, it's when we think of financial freedom, most of us we're thinking of when at retirement, pension age. We link financial freedom, we link it to retirement, we link it to the pension age that keeps changing depending on which part of the world you're in. One of the key measures of financial freedom is when you have enough passive income that covers your expenses without you having to work. That is the point at which you begin to achieve financial freedom. Good evening. I think my Oga at the top has just entered the room. It's good to see you. That is when. But there are so much things attached to financial freedom in terms of you understanding what are your needs, what are your wants, what are your desires. Most of us, our needs is being dictated by the environment. Our wants, don't worry, it's whatever has been advertised on TV. We see it, we want it. We see it, we want it. Our desires are controlled and manipulated by the environment, and they do it quite well. If we continue to live a life like that, we will never, read my lips again, never be truly financially free. A life without discipline can never take control. Financial freedom is not about you having all the money in the world. It's not. There are some people with so much money, but they cannot sleep for a night. Most of us, it is life creep that is our biggest problem because the more we want, the further financial freedom is away from us. Trust me, there is nothing wrong in you wanting a good life. Don't get me wrong. But when you don't have a life where you have a definition of contentment, when you have a definition of when you know that, as for me personally, as an individual, as a family, yeah, this is enough. Now, for your calling, for your ministry, for your charity work, for whatever, that could be unlimited. So, my first question before we continue tonight is, what is financial freedom to you? If anyone asks you right now and said, what will it take for you to be financially free? What will be your response? Let me see in the chat what we're saying. Everybody is gone quiet. I hope Coach Mo is not getting too hot tonight. Not at all. I've not even started. We just slowly unwrapping the gift. What does it mean to you? Contentment and discipline is key. I almost swapped my phone for the latest one. The urge was strong. See, let me tell you one thing about life. If you do not decide, life and its environment will make the decision for you. There is nothing called I'm going to sit on the fence. No, you don't sit on the fence in life. It's either you're in control of the narrative or the environment is in control of your narrative. It's either you own the company or you're working for somebody. You don't sit in the middle. In life, it's either you're the boss or you're an employee. It's one of the two. The reason why financial freedom is so critical, and that why I feel so passionate about it, is because almost everything around our life is being controlled by this thing. Most of us, we spend 8 to 10 hours of the day doing something that we don't like, just because we want to be able to get to the end of the day, end of the week, end of the month, to be able to pay some bills that most of the time we don't need. But we never really understand in terms of, if we're able to see as far as what financial freedom is to us, it guides the decision we make. See, frugality, there's nothing wrong with frugality. Frugality allows you to be able to arrive at financial freedom easily. Financial freedom is what makes you do what you'd like to do. Financial freedom is when you call the shots in life and you decide your destiny. See, truth be told, most of us, we are not controlling any destiny. Most of us, the bills we pay are the destiny controllers of our lives. I like that. Someone said to me, financial freedom is to be able to YOLO without worry or bringing a calculator. I like that. I like YOLO. YOLO means you only live once. That's true. See, it is not about being judgmental about what you choose. The question is, make up your mind. Take a position in life. Take a stance. Most of us have been paying bills for the past 20, 30 years. Those bills they keep coming. And some people, they pay those bills till the day they die. There is more to life than bills. There is more to life than working 9 to 5, 6 days a week, some of us 7 days a week. At what point will you decide and say, enough is enough? And do you know where those things starts? It starts with your ability to understand exactly who are you and what exactly were you created for. Yeah, I know where I'm going. And I'm going to link them all together. If you don't know who you are, you don't know why you're here, you don't know where you're going to, any road will take you anywhere. That means number one, there is no discipline in terms of what you do, what you don't do. There is no discipline in terms of what you have and what you don't have. And there is no discipline in terms of where you go and where you don't go. See, we all pray for billions and billions and billions. My question there is, one of my mentors is called PB. 2 Sundays ago, he was ministering. The man of God was ministering in a church, and he told us a story about a man met him at the airport, and they were having a conversation. And the man asked him a question. He said, "If I gave you $1 million today, what will you do?" Now I'm asking everyone online tonight, if I gave you $1 million tonight, what will you do? What will you do with it? Answer the question truthfully. See, the day you stop deceiving yourself is the day your salvation begins. In Yoruba, they say something that two people cannot lie to each other. If the person you're lying to does not know you're lying to them, you that you're lying, you know you're lying. So be truthful to yourself and think about it. If you truly get $1 million tonight, what will you do with it? My guy said manufacturing company set up Bagan. How much of the $1 million will you use for the manufacturing company setup? Someone said, your girl will mostly put almost everything into crypto. Okay, let's go on. Any more? What will you do with it? Producing high quality toilet roll in Nigeria. Okay. Is that the only thing you're going to do with $1 million? Is that all to do with $1 billion? Let's think about it. I was asking myself as well, I was like, okay, LM, at what point will you know enough is enough? At what point will you be able to say, yeah, I'm financially free? And I could not honestly answer the question myself. Thank you very much, ma'am. She said, first thing first, the company, then I look into other things. At least she's got a plan. I know the number in terms of, the exact number that needs to cover my monthly bill or our family's monthly bill because we run one budget in our house. But is that what will make me to be financially free? Is that what will give me the time required? Is that what will give me the life I would like to live? The question there is, what life do I really want to live? Where would I want to be in 10 years from now? What kind of life would I want to live in the next 20 years? What are my passions? What would I like to go after? What is my calling? Which of my gifts would I want to deploy? You cannot talk about financial freedom without sitting down to really evaluate your life as an individual. Exactly. What is retirement to you? How much is going to be enough to cover your monthly expenses? And the next question there is, before you can say any of these things, as you are, what is your current net worth? What is your net worth? See, if you want to go from A to B, you're sat now with pink position A. Position B is where you know you need to be. If you don't know exactly where position A is, then how would you get to position B? How far away or how far is financial freedom from you? 20% to land baking, 30% to venture capital fund, 20% to long-term ETFs, 20% to an high yield savings interest, 10% cash in the bank for living expenses. Wow. Someone has put some thought into this. I like that. So what is your net worth? That's where we're going to start from. Where are you right now? Let's bring it back into finances. With your money, what exactly? And you know how to calculate what a net worth is. Your net worth is what you own and what you owe. You take what you owe out of what you own. Whatever is left is your present net worth. What kind of life would you like to have? That is where you project it in terms of what is that magical number? How much does it take to run you as an individual or as a family for a whole year? How much exactly? That includes your wants and your needs. Can you tell the difference between both? What percentage of your monthly expenditure is actually being consumed by your wants and your needs? I'm asking questions here. Do we have the percentages? What falls on the wants? What falls on the needs? How do you currently deploy the capital assets that comes into your hands monthly, weekly, daily? How good of a manager are you with what you're currently being entrusted with, what you're managing? See, if you cannot manage that little you have right now, trust me, you would never build capacity to have more. That is why financial freedom is so far away from a lot of people. It's just because presently they cannot even balance the books. If they can't balance the books, then they don't even know exactly how much it takes to run them as an individual or a family on a monthly basis. So they don't know how many months emergency funds they need because they don't know how much it takes a month. They don't have any percentage of the allocation of the funds that comes in. As it comes, so it goes. You cannot not be in relationship with your finances. It's very important. It is. This is not, it's not one of those things whereby you think, don't worry, everything's going to be, it is not going to be all right. It is not. One of my favorite books says something. It says, how many of you would want to build a house and you will not sit down first to count the cost to see if you're able to finish it? Else you'll start and you'll be unable to finish it, and people will start making fun of you. That is what most of us are doing. We start life without a plan. We're going from job to job, job to job, job to job. We're clocking 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 15 years, 20 years. Some of us 25, some of us 30. And we're still working, and there's no end in sight when that cycle is going to stop. When we'll be able to wake up in the morning because we want to, not because we need to. They're two different things. There's a difference when you wake up because destiny is calling and you know you want to answer the call of destiny. And there's a difference in when the bills are calling and you know you need to answer that. There's nothing wrong with living now. There's nothing wrong in enjoying the fruits of your labor. But just make sure it's not at the expense of tomorrow. Tomorrow always comes. And when tomorrow comes, we'll always call it today. The chat box is very, very, very quiet. What's happening? Is Coach Mo being too harsh tonight? We're just having a conversation around it tonight. Are we not tired? Honestly, let's break this down. Are we not really tired? How many people is actually enjoying what they are doing right now? Let me see by your hands, you raising up your hands. If you're truly enjoying what you're doing right now, let me see your hands there. Just say yes. If you're not, just say no. If you know what you're doing right now, where you are right now, you are having a blast of your life. You know, I was at an event on Saturday, and there was this gentleman who I follow him quite a lot, John Obidi, and he was saying something. He says, I'm in my 30s and I'm having the blast of my life. He said, I'm saying with all confidence, and that would hit me. He said, why? He said, because in my 20s, I worked my socks off. Why? Because I had a plan. No blast hard, work is stressful, I'm tired, can't seem to catch a break. See, I'm saying the same thing. Before coming online here, I had to finish some work which I didn't really want to do, but I had to do it and things like that. I'm asking myself that, man, Coach Mo, at what point would I just be doing this that I love doing? This is me. I can talk from now till kingdom come in things relating to finances. And if you really want to get my blood high, let's get into digital assets. But really, it's that fundamental of being able to. It is not only you or Mrs. O spent my 20s YOLOing. Me, I spent my 20s YOLOing. Only God help me. I think I almost spent the whole of my 30s YOLOing as well. See, there's one thing about life. There are two things that are guaranteed in life. You will play, you will pay. Nobody is getting away with those two things. Now, the choice at which of what you do is completely up to you. If you choose to play first, you will pay later. But if you choose to pay first, you will play later. You know, I watched John Obidis. He said that word with all confidence. He says, I'm in my 30s and I'm having the blast of my life. And I smiled and I was like, Lord. He said, why? He said, because in my 20s, I worked my socks off. Do you know why you see a lot of older people that are very grumpy and very miserable? They've spent most of their life playing. And as life would all see, it's a life principle. My favorite book says something. It says, as long as the earth remains, there will be seed time and harvest. What it's trying to say there is, as long as the earth remains, there will be time to play, there will be time to pay. Have you ever wondered, while we were in school, there are this group of people, we call them geeks, because they always have these big glasses, they don't play with everybody, they're always in class carrying books. When we are playing about, having fun, they are just going from library to library. Do you know them? Do you have them? Everybody has them in their school or in their class. Those are the guys that they don't do sports, they don't go to activities, they don't do any co-curriculum. The only thing they do is that they do math quiz thing and things like that. But do you know those are the guys that eventually run and own those startups companies? Those are the guys that become the tech developers. Those are the guys that become the Bill Gates. While we were playing, they were paying. That is why you see a medical student get into school and someone who studied biz admin, they get into school at the same time. In 4 years, the biz admin guy is out. He's working as a clerk somewhere. 5 years, 6 years, the medical student is still going through the gears. After 5, 6, 7 years, the business admin person is actually 4 or 5 years, working. If they meet in 6 years down the line, they meet, say, you are still in school. Oh, me, I've started working. How much are they paying you? But the day the medical doctor finishes, gets internship, finishes that, all of a sudden, what the other guy has not earned in the last 4 years, he earns it probably the first year or probably the first 2, 3 months. It's paid. Then it's time for him to play. There is no free pass in life. If anyone is having it easy, somebody paid a price. To those who had forebearers who had paid the price for them, I really congratulate them. But I guess most of us were first generation paying the price. If you check the top 10 richest people in the world, 80% of them are first generation billionaires. That means they decided that the buck stops with them. They decided this poverty is not going beyond me. We can all do that. It's never too late. You got to start somewhere. Get serious with life. Get serious with your finances. See, this spirit of buy, 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 buy. Must you always buy, buy, buy? Must you always buy, buy, buy? Some of us, we are advert magnets. When we see a product, we've bought it in our head. We're just waiting for the day we have the money. Why do you think they show adverts? Do you think they're showing adverts because they want you to go and buy it immediately? No, they're not. They are planting a seed. If you don't make a decision for where your money is going to, the seed they planted will decide that for you. You will just realize one day, one moment of weakness like this, you just go on the website, you just upgrade your phone like that, and you say, I only live once, Jerry, I can't kill myself. This phone is giving me stress. And you enter another 36 months contract, £55 a month, where you could be using your old phone and be paying £8 a month. And the difference, for the £6 or so a month there, that buys you Apple stocks, Tesla stocks. It buys you some Bitcoins, some Ethereums. And you do that for 8 years, for 3 years. Do the numbers. See, the problem is not we're too fixated on making more money. There's nothing wrong with it. But financial freedom never comes just by how much money you make. I was having a conversation with one of my sisters earlier on this evening, and I was telling her that, look, it's good to make a lot of money, but the most important thing that decides your worth is what you keep. It is from what you keep you save. It is from what you keep you invest. And it is from what you keep that prospers you. Have you heard of the stories of the yesterday millionaires? They feel they've achieved a state of where they can no longer have a budget for their money, and they spend tricked and all the money. See, the Bible says money has wings and it can fly. It doesn't matter how much money you have right now. Trust me. Go and ask, Mike Tyson. During his lifetime, he made close to $600 million. He's barely worth 10 million right now. Go and ask MC Hammer. Go and ask all those stars of yesterday. They were so irresponsible with the money that they had. And what happened? They never found financial freedom. Go and ask the various one-hit wonders we have, even from this side of the world. What am I telling you? Pay attention. Become a better manager of the funds that is currently within your ability to manage right now. So you will never get to the next level until you pass the current level. And some of us, we are just repeating the same class. We're repeating the same class. We do the test, we fail, back to the same class. That is why we have some money for a period of time. We don't spend that money where we're back to that same spot. It is all of us. See, what I'm saying is a two-edged sword. Let me tell you something. If there is any finance coach that tells you they've got it all worked out, they're probably getting it all they're working it through. Because every day you leave, you have the previous day to work out. Oh, I still make some stupid financial decisions. I will tell you that. But what I do there is when I make them, I learn from them, and I try not to repeat the same mistakes. See, there are some basic mistakes you can avoid. There are some expenditures you can avoid from your life. Don't eat with all your 10 fingers. What percentage of your income is your expenses? If you really want to know how to survive, if you can live on 50% of what you currently earn now, you're on the right path. If you can't, my brother, my sister, you go and struggle. Why? Inflation is creeping up. That one, nothing can stop it. It's part of life. It's part of the fiat punishment we're going through, but that's for a different day, not today. You remember the story of the 10 virgins in the Bible? They went to an event, all of them had oil. All of them were virgins. So that means there was nothing to distinguish them. But some of them were wise enough to have extra. The others were not. So I guess the question tonight there is, are we wise or foolish? Do we have reserve in our tanks at all? Are we living paycheck to paycheck? See, these are the foundations we've got to get right. These are the foundations you've got to get right. It doesn't matter how much you earn every month. If you cannot save from that little you have, you will struggle. I've been there, I'm telling you that. Everything around you is designed to take from you. Have you noticed? Every day you wake up, you do what? Everything is designed to take. It is your ability to know how to be disciplined enough to stay within a particular confine of expenses. See, there is a word which is called NO. It is a statement. It is a sentence. No is no. See, if you know your level. See, there are some things which I think sometimes know the level you are. Know what level you're playing at. See, some people, they are short distance runners. They're very short sighted. But you could see how far you need to go. You've got to have extra oil. You can see the dream you have. You can see the charities you want to build. You can see what you want to do with life. You cannot live anyhow and expect your life to get figured out. It wouldn't work. It's not going to work. And if your expenses is all about just you and your family, then you've not even started to live. Let me tell you one secret. The day your monthly expenses is more than just for you and your immediate family's consumption is the day you break a level in life. I'm not telling you to go look for some bills and force that upon yourself, but the day you get to that state whereby there are dependencies by choice, that is part of what you do and it's part of your monthly expenses. That is the day life is just more about just you. It shouldn't just be about you. Always think of the opportunity cost. There's nothing wrong with you living well, but don't be selfish. This world is greedy enough. And that is what is killing the world. Everything is just me, 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 me. When you're financially free, then you have the ability and capacity to cater for others. You can volunteer and serve in any capacity. You can pack your bags and say, okay, you're going to work in a homeless place for a month just to give your time. There is more to life than just your money, because there are some places money will not take you. Mother Teresa was not the richest person in the world, but there are doors that name will open that rich people's name will never open. Anyway, everyone, tonight we're talking about financial freedom, and then we cannot talk about finance without touching every other areas of our lives. Ask yourself that question. What is that number? What does financial freedom mean to you? When is enough going to be enough? What does enough means for you? At what point would you be able to say, for me and my family, we have enough. It's time to cater for others. When will you be able to say it's not just about me and my family alone anymore? You remember the story of Joseph. After everything Joseph went through, he said, maybe it is for this time that God has preserved me so that he could preserve the whole of Israel. He had a choice. He could have blind them and just be living large by himself. He had a choice to make. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Power to Know and Coach Mo, it's been another amazing time. You've been able to pick one or two nuggets, just like I've done as well. And do we have any questions at all tonight? Anyone's got a question? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to share? Okay, then, if there is nothing else to say, it's been an amazing evening. It's been an amazing night, morning, afternoon, whatever time you actually get to watch this or you're streaming from. On behalf of the whole team, thank you very much, everyone. It's good to see you here. I'll see you, I wouldn't say same time because we should have done this on Sunday. We had to move it till today. So we'll see you again end of October, where we will have another interesting subject to talk about. But between then and now, check us out on all our pages, and we'll see you around, and God bless.